Hello, Sony Entertainment. Oh, hello, Rockstar. You sold how many? Without a physical disc. Oh my god. Who is that? It's time. The thing with the Nutella and the electrical outlet? No, time to get rid of physical discs. Oh. Well, let's get to it. There's nothing to get to. We're stopping something. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Well, it's official. Sony has rung the final death knell for physical media. Sony announced today that, starting January 2028, no new physical copies of PlayStation games will be made. This is extremely anti-consumer behavior. Unfortunately, we've all been conditioned to kind of just accept digital media. Personally, I like to collect my physical media. I like to own the things that I'm purchasing. But at the same time, I do understand where people are coming from when they buy digital media. It's a lot more convenient. You don't have to get up, go to the store, buy a new movie, buy a new game. You don't have to wait for it to come in the mail if you order it online. You sit down, you hit buy now, and it starts downloading. And yes, that's great. But the problem with that is you don't own that media. A lot of people don't realize that when you're buying a movie on Amazon Prime or buying a game on Steam, you're not actually buying that game. You're buying a license to that game, a revocable license. And while that may be fine if you just on a whim decided you wanted to watch Shrek 2 and saw it on sale for $3.99 on Amazon Prime, so you bought it. And then 2 years later, it's just gone from your library and you're okay with that. You shouldn't be okay with that. Shrek 2 is a cinematic masterpiece. But you're trading convenience for ownership of the things you're buying. Delisting media from digital storefronts is something we've been seeing happening for years at this point. Every few years it comes up that one platform or another has lost the licensing to certain movies that they've been selling the licenses to. So occasionally you get an email from, again, say Amazon Prime saying, "Oh, yeah, remember that time you bought Shrek 3? Yeah, our licensing deal is up, so we're just going to take that back." That one I'd be okay with. Shrek 3 is just not good. And while we don't really see that happening to that extent in the gaming world, unfortunately, it's not unheard of. You know, Sony in the past has, when they pull a game from their digital storefront, they have pulled digital downloads of that game back. So it's not unheard of. The irony of Sony announcing this today of all days, right after they just announced they did not renew a licensing deal with Canal, and I believe over 500 different films that were licensed through Canal were just removed from the purchasers' libraries. The used market's going to be affected too. How do you trade in a used game? You don't. You just don't. It's not possible. So stores like GameStop, bad example. I know we kind of all secretly want GameStop to fail. But hypothetically, a store like GameStop, where a big part of their business model relies on reselling games, they're going to have a lot less inventory coming in soon. And for people like me who don't necessarily buy games the day of release, except for a few special titles here and there, I may or may not have spent $70 to get 007 First Light on launch day, but that's a whole different story. With games becoming a lot more expensive, a lot of people look to the used market to play games that came out a year or two ago that they've been waiting on, because they can get them at a bargain. For example, I had heard great things about the Guardians of the Galaxy game, but I didn't really want to pay $60 for it at launch. Waited a few years, picked it up for $15 used. That's going away. You know, Sony is essentially going to be monopolizing their entire game market. You know, with something like PC gaming, you have plenty of options. You have Steam, you have Good Old Games. You'll see deals on Humble Bundle. There's the Epic Game Store. Okay, that one I could see people not using. But, you know, you have options. They're essentially going to turn their own platform into a closed system. You're going to pay whatever they decide you're going to pay. And if history is anything to go on, PlayStation's online storefront kinda sucks. You know, you have games that have been out for 4 or 5 years that are still full price in that storefront. And on top of that, if you buy a game and it just straight up sucks, there's no refund policy. Platforms like Steam, if you buy a game, turns out you don't vibe with it, for whatever reason it just doesn't work on your system, you can return it. They will refund your money. With PlayStation, it's like, hey, I just bought this game digitally, but it keeps crashing and it's unplayable. I just want to return it. No refunds. Now say thank you. Thank you? On top of all those issues, right now there is a computer parts pricing crisis. All these lovely AI companies that we're just so fond of are scooping up computer components like RAM, hard drives, SSDs. Why did I say SSDs twice? SSDs nuts. Got 'em! But components are becoming more and more expensive. So you're going to be more wary of what you're downloading, especially if you live in a rural area with a really shitty internet connection. You're not going to want to be sitting there trying to download a game over the internet. The other aspect of this is just discovery of new games. When I'm looking for a new game to buy, I don't necessarily just go online and look up recommendations. Sometimes I do, but it's not always. A lot of times I will just go to a store and just browse the game section. You know, I'll pick up a game, look at the description on the back cover, look at the little images they have of it, and if it tickles my fancy tickled, I'm gonna get that game. I should stop doing that. But game discovery, you know, there are a lot of times where I'm browsing, again, a used game store, and I'm just looking through and I just pick something up that looks interesting. Right now, PlayStation Plus's game store is just kind of dookie in terms of discovery. You know, they'll have a couple different tabs for like certain different things like, oh, here's some shooters, here's some free-to-play games. But usually they're all default sorted to best-selling. They don't filter out DLC immediately, so you're wading through all this crap just to hopefully see something you want to get. And I know this aspect of it is not something that everybody deals with, but again, as a game collector, when I'm done with a game, I like to display it on my shelf like a trophy. You know, it's something nice to look at. I can feel a sense of accomplishment seeing a physical manifestation of the game I completed. And for the games I haven't even played yet that are in my collection, it gives me something to browse through, you know? And that's just all going away. Unfortunately, I think Xbox is going to be quick to follow suit, especially considering their recent decisions like shuttering a ton of studios. It seems like they're trying to speedrun how to crash a gaming company the fastest. And Nintendo, right now, yes, they do still have physical cartridges, but a lot of them are game keycards. Nintendo was already soft launching the idea of not technically owning your games. Yes, right now, technically, if you have a game keycard game, you can share it with your friend. You can just pass them the keycard, they put it in their console, and it'll download. But one day, once those servers are offline, it's done for. That's just e-waste. Anyways, that's it for my rant. If you watched this whole thing, I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the fact that PlayStation is embracing a fully digital future. In the meantime, I guess I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to display a fully digital game on my shelf after I beat it. Wait a minute. Yeah, that fucking sucks.